Hello guys, I'm Kiri, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a 1959 Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato. Alfa Romeo is an iconic brand, but some of the models are very special and very rare. The company was founded in 1910 in Milan, Italy, and during the years Alfa Romeo been producing different class cars. But from the beginning was sporty oriented. There is a tons of history about the Alfa Romeo race cars, from Grand Prix, Rally and many different races. In 1950s, Alfa Romeo Giulietta was a very popular car. It was available as a saloon, coupe and spider. But the coupe version, or Sprint, was the sporty car. On that time in Italy were many different car races and the sports cars were very popular. During the 1956 Mille race, a guy crashed his Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint, and then he gave the car to Zagato, who was based in Milan, to rebuild it, but also to improve it, so to be ready for the next race. Of course, Zagato rebuilt the car, but with his own vision. New steel tubular frame, all aluminum panels and shape, improved suspension and very importantly the engine. The car had a completely new look. Was very sporty, small, and even Pininfarina steal some design elements from this model, especially the backside, to mate after the legendary Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase. The Giulietta Sprint Zagato won many races and trophies, and quickly became a very popular race car. Many other racers were asking Zagato to build more of this car, and he made 18 more cars like this. After the success, the company Alfa Romeo contacted Zagato and asked him to make some series of this car for them. On the end, Zagato built 200 cars for Alfa Romeo of this racer Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato. So in total, Zagato built 218 cars. The first car for Alfa Romeo was ready in December 1959 and was presented at the 1960 Geneva Motor Show. The car was equipped with the very responsive and reliable Alfa Romeo aluminum 1.3-liter 1219cc 4-cylinder inline twin overhead camshaft engine with 2 Weber carburetors and delivered 100 horsepower at 6,500 rpm and 114 Nm of torque. Connected to the 770 kg lightweight chassis, the car was a bullet. Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato was a winning car, won many races, and most notably Mille, Targa Florio, the Italian GT in 1960, all in its class to 1300cc. It's a front longitudinally mounted engine, 5-speed manual gearbox of course, and rear wheel drive only. 2 seats only, the wheelbase is 2 meter 250 mm, the car is long 3 meter 840 mm and is wide 1 meter 530 mm. Is high just over 1 meter 220 mm. The maximum speed of the car is near 200 km per hour or 124 miles per hour. The acceleration from 0 to 100 km per hour or 62 miles per hour, approximately 11 seconds. The brakes, front and rear all discs, so it was very cool car. The design was made by Ercole Spada, who was the designer for Zagato. Plexiglass windows were used, and on the end was 120 kilograms lighter than the normal Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint. The production ended in 1962 with, how we said earlier, 200 cars made for Alfa Romeo, but in total 218 cars, because the 18 cars Zagato made before the Alfa Romeo deal. The other very famous and well-known model based on the Giulietta was the Giulietta Sprint Speciale. But the Giulietta Sprint Zagato was the pinnacle, the top car. All the components and mechanics were from Alfa Romeo, and the car was all hand-built and very expensive. But let's talk a little bit about the original Alfa Romeo Giulietta, because the Zagato one was actually based on the normal Giulietta, and how we said before, all the components were delivered straight from Alfa Romeo Giulietta. The People's Alfa Romeo Giulietta was presented for the first time in 1954, and the production ended in 1966. We said early, there were different versions: Saloon, Coupe, which is Sprint, Spider, and even more. The four-door Berliner version, of course, was the most popular and affordable, you could see everywhere, was the car for everyone. But even from that time, Alfa Romeo was a more expensive, luxury and exotic brand than Fiat. But anyway, this four-door Alfa Romeo Giulietta was very important to keep the company running the business. Then, in 1959, they restyled the model, and again in 1961 they did the facelift. But what was the most important about any Alfa Romeo car was the style and the engine. Alfa Romeo always been very careful about the engine. They wanted to have sporty engine in any car, in any model. Only the engine fitted to Giulietta Saloon was the all-aluminum 4-cylinder inline 1300, 1290 cc, but with two cams. So this engine was dream for everyone. Depends from the specifications, the power output was between 52 to 74 horsepower and only with one carburetor. So in total, Alfa Romeo made just over 132,000 cars of this saloon version Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Then the other version was Giulietta Sprint. The coupe, two-door sporty version. Very cool design, different carburetor and 80 horsepower, but the same 1300 engine. They made 24,084 of this car. And then the other model, the Spider, was very, very beautiful as well, with the same engine from the coupe version, and 14,300 were made. Now, the Giulietta Sprint Speciale was the special one. We made a video before about this car. Very beautiful design, made by Scaglione at Bertone, and just 1,366 were made from 1957 to 1962. The same engine as in the Zagato, so 1290 cc, 100 horsepower, and this was the most aerodynamic car back on the day. Even today some of the designers need to learn from this model. So all Giulietta cars were very cool and fun to drive. But again, the pinnacle was the car here in front of us, Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato. Today, very good examples are selling for over €500,000, dollars or British pounds. But the most valuable are the original cars, the unrestored ones. They are absolutely cool, the way how they left the factory. We don't know how many today are in existence, but for sure not many. Probably half of the 200 were built. So it's very rare, but not only rare. It's a piece of art made by Italian Michelangelo. Very beautiful, and most importantly was a racing winning car. Every of the surviving car today has a story to say, and trophies of course. Today all Zagato cars are very, very valuable, and on the same time Zagato was working not only with Alfa Romeo cars but with Fiat, Lancia, Ferrari and many others. Carrozzeria Zagato was founded in 1920 by Ugo Zagato, who was working as a young guy for Carrozzeria Varesina, from where he get the knowledge, and then he borrowed money to buy tools and rent shop in Milan. That's how he started his business. The very first car he worked on was a Fiat. Then the reputation of his business went up and was very well known not only in Italy but all over the world. But Alfa Romeo is one of the best looking Zagato car. So this car here in front of us is the Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato. And you can see here a little bit from the Sprint Speciale. So the backside, how we said, is very, very similar to the Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase, but it's very aerodynamically efficient. So the tires are Pirelli Cinturato, very, very well-known tires back on the day. 15-inch 155 SR15, only 2 doors. How you can see, this is a racing car with row bar inside, 5-speed manual. Inside the interior is very simple, and you can see the plexiglass windows, so that's why the weight is very light, 120 kilograms lighter than normal Sprint, Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint. From the side, the car looks very cool, very aerodynamic, but the Sprint Speciale actually is more aerodynamically efficient than this. But it's very beautiful, especially with this Zagato badge on the front fender on the side. It's a very cool car. Also, they, on the end, I think they built 30 or 40 little bit different shape Zagato Sprint cars, but this was the original. This was the 1959-1960, the first Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato. It's very cool from every angle. The car is very beautiful, and that's why today it costs more than $500,000. It's very well-known car as well. It's absolutely proper racer. Won lots of races back on the 1960s on its class as well, up to 1300. But the car is just amazing. Very beautifully made car. From any angle you look, the car is absolutely beautiful. And this front grille with the lights on the side of the front grille, with the main grille on the middle. This is the Alfa Romeo original element with the round lights. Of course, the car looks so amazing and so fantastic. And these plexiglass windows, really, they make big difference because they save weight. And how you can see here, the bonnet is locked with special lockers, because this is actually a racing car. And the dash is covered with special paint, so when it's very hot and shiny outside, you're not gonna get blind from the dashboard, from the sun. But the backside, again, very cool and very aerodynamically efficient. It's very close to Ferrari 250 GT on the back, but this car is before the Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase, so it's very cool. And no bumpers, of course, this is racing car, no need bumper. And this red color actually is one of the best. The other colors available for these cars were gray, but actually you can paint this car in different colors. But the gray one and the red one, they are the most popular, especially the red one, of course. Alfa Romeo always been connected with the red colors. You can see here they are a little bit different tires, but originally 155 SR15. And here we have drum brakes on the front, but later versions they are with 4 disc brakes. So guys, I hope you like the video about this fantastic Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato. If you like, please subscribe my channel, and see you next time, guys. Bye.